Well, praise God. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the midday with the Masters. I'd like to welcome you for being a part of our program today. We'd like to thank you for coming in. This is our fourth Wednesday. So, on our fourth Wednesday, we usually discuss multi-level. And my guest today is out of town, and she in an area where she cannot reach Wi-Fi. So we're just going to go on anyway with our meeting today. We're going to be talking about multi-level income. We're also going to be continuing our discussion in our book with your e-style. We're going to be talking about what's your e-style, and we're going to be talking about the designer style today. Um, and when I was reading this about the design style, it is so important that we know our e-style and we know what God has equipped us with and how God has formed us and given us different styles that we can comprehend, amen, and be able to represent Him in the earth today. So it says here today, I'm talking about the designer, how that your e-style if you are a designer. And it says that a designer entrepreneur is a person that is frequently defined as a person that is crafty, very creative minded person, as a person that love to design, love to be out there creating different things. And it also said that this person may be a person in a landscaping business, maybe a person that's a bakery, maybe a person that's a graphic artist, a designer, a photograph person, a person that is generally maybe a general contractor, but somebody who loves to put things together, somebody who are an inventor, maybe one of those people that is a designer. It says a designer excel in their position as being creative, but they also are people that love to create by themselves. They're not good with working with other people. They're good at working with themselves. You can give them an idea, you can give them something, and they will take that idea as long as you give it to them, and they will do it. Come on, they will do it, they will expedite it and get it back to you. And a designer also is the person that pays close attention to details. They are fanatic about details. They got to have every I, got to have the dot. Every T has to be crossed. They're very detailed person. I remember when I was working with somebody that has this e-design as a designer person, that person, everything that they wanted to do, it had to be perfect. If you put something on the table, they would go back and straighten it up. Maybe it was just an inch, but it was off to them, and it made it go back and do it their way. And the designer person, it says that a person that is a designer, they're very gifted in what they do. They're very creative in what they do, and they can customize just about anything that you give them to do. They're very skillful, very joyful people. They're stimulated with a new task. And it says that they love sharing their talent. They're furnished with the equipment of executing the idea and putting it forth. And it says here that their personal motivation. A designer possess all the concerns, possess all the mechanisms that they need to create. They're driven by creating a new thing. Oh my God. And they said that they receive incredible satisfaction from sharing their ideas and their talent. They love for other people to see it. They love for other people to be a part of what they're doing. So if you are an e-designer, if you're a person that's an e-designer, you're a person that you have designer skills, or a person that are out there and love to design and love to be a part of stuff like that. So what you need to do is that you need to harness your skills, do something to harness your skill, to have your skills out there, to be able to share your skills with other people. It said that's one of the things that a designer entrepreneur love to do, is to love to share their skills. So I'm going to stop for a few seconds because I can't I'm not a multitask person. I'm not a computer person, I should say. But I just want to be able to do this to share with everyone. If you're watching today, I would love for you to go and share with your friends and share with your family that we are on the Biz Hub today and be able to share what we're doing today out there. We're talking about your e-style. And the e-style that we're talking about today is a designer, a person who have the skill set to design, an artist who have the skill set to design something and be able to share it with other people. I think this is so important when you know your skills, when you know what you are called to do, when you know that God has given you a talent, He's given you a skill, and you're out there ready to share it with the world. And that's what we're out there doing, ready to share our gifts and our ideas to the world, to let the world see what God has developed and put on the inside of us. It says here that the East style enjoy producing a job well done. It doesn't matter whether they're the supervisor of the job, they rather have a job that is well done. It said, without a doubt, they value freedom, self control, and self impression. As a result, they have a passionate desire to be their own boss. They got to be their own boss. They got to be in a place, in a position where they're in control of their design. They're in control of their ideas. I was working with a designer, and I had my own ideas of how I wanted the place to look. And the designer kept saying, no, 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 this is not the way it's supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to be. And you got to do it this way. And I want it this way. And I said, oh, that's not how I want it. That's not my desire. I was doing when I got married years ago to Apostle Washington. And it was so funny because the young lady who was my wedding coordinator, she kept saying, if I was getting married, this is what I would have, and this is what I want. She was going to fly flowers in from Africa, and she's the bird of paradise and all this and stuff. And I said, I don't even know what bird of paradise is. I don't want bird of paradise. I want a calla lily. I love calla lily. She said, oh no, calla lilies is not good. This is how we're going to do it. This is what we're going to do. You marry an apostle. You got to do it this way. Well, I ended up firing her because she was trying to live her wedding through me. And I wanted to design my own. I wanted things that I wanted for my own wedding. And that's one of the faults that we have. And one of the challenges that a personality have, or designing personality have, is that they are not able to take criticism, or they are able to design something, but they rather design what they love, and they want the client to love what they love instead of the loving what the client loves. So it says a major challenge that it had, one of the major challenges that the designer face is continuous need to market and reproduce their skills and service to other people. It says many of them are moderate and reserved, and they prefer their work to speak for themselves. They prefer to display a big array of their work, and making sure that you see it, and making sure that it is beautiful and that their work will speak for themselves, and instead of them going out promoting themselves and promoting their gift. So a lot of time it says here that they prefer for their work to speak for themselves. Sadly enough, it says, sadly not enough, everyone have exposed themselves to their handiwork, and they're not able or sufficient enough or positive enough for the words of mouth to make their product go around the world. So sadly, sometimes what happened to them, they want their work to be on display and want their work to speak for themselves, but a lot of times they're not putting their work in the right place in order for the work to speak for themselves. Secondly, it says meeting deadlines is another challenge that the designer have trouble with. Often it's easy to receive work and willing to juggle several clients at a time. Listen at this, but they frequently overcommit to too many projects. Oh, how that sound familiar to me is that sometimes people just overcommit themselves to too many projects, and they find themselves not able to fulfill the things in a timely manner for their clients. And you find that not only with the designer e-style, you find that with other e-styles also, is that we really have to hum in and learn our weakness and learn that when you have this designer e-style, don't overexert yourself. Don't overwhelm yourself by taking on too many clients and taking on too many jobs that you're going to do, and it's overwhelming to you and you can't meet your deadlines. So watch out, designers, when you're making a project and you're on a project, don't overextend yourself unless you got workers that's working with you and they're able to make sure that what you're doing and the project that you're working on, that you guys are in sync with each other and you're able to finish those tasks on time. I'm telling you, what really bugs me is when I have hired someone to do a work for me and we have a deadline and they don't meet the deadline. That is so important to me, is to meet my deadline. When I set a deadline, I set two deadlines. I set my first deadline and then I set my second deadline. Because a lot of times you're working with people, a lot of times when you're working with other people who don't have the same time frame mind that you have to juggle. You have to learn how to be a juggler, and you have to learn how to juggle your time, your deadline along with them. But at the same time, don't get so pushy, but get so demanding that in a right way that we do have a deadline. And this is my final deadline. A lot of times we forget our final deadline. I just gave some people a deadline, some things that I want. I said, y'all done already failed two or three of the deadlines. And so now this is my final deadline. If you can't do it, then I'll get somebody else to implement what I need to do. Because then we don't want to learn to let everybody else define who we are and what we do and what we produce in this season. You got to learn that people, if they don't have deadlines, if they don't have a timeline for themselves, and you don't make them stick to that timeline that they're giving you, then it will be out of question that you will not finish what you need to finish. God was a timely person. He was a time. He made the world, created the whole earth, and on the seventh day, he rested because he had finished. And the work that he had finished, he was so, he said, it is done, it is finished, and it's good. See, the thing is, he was a designer. Come on, Lord Jesus Christ was a designer. Our God is a designer. And he said, I'm displaying my work and it is good. So make for sure that if you have the designer e-style, make sure that you do not overwhelm yourself, that you don't have to juggle with so many different projects and never come to the deadline on any of those projects that you're doing. So then you have your clients who's highly disappointed, highly teased off. A lot of times they're highly teased off, highly disappointed because they're past their deadline also. And now you got them a spin where they can't reach their deadline. So it's like a domino effect when person don't finish a deadline and another person don't finish their deadline. It's a domino effect. And it ends up that everybody is upset, mad with each other, and the project is not done successfully. So we have to watch that, because you want your client to appreciate who you are, appreciate what you're doing. And once they appreciate what you're doing, then most of the time they will tell somebody else about how unique your work is. They will tell somebody how you finish on your deadline. Come on, that's so important. I'm getting tongue twisted here. That is so important for us to understand, is that deadlines are important. Why I set them is because you're trying to finish a project. I remember when I was working on this book. I'm telling you guys, going to want to get this book. You're going to want to email me and you're going to get this master planner. We're going to also be doing some coaching out of the master planner this year, but you want to get your master planner book. You want to put in your order in time and you want to be able to get it. So when we start in January going through this book, when we start going through next month, we're going to start doing some little teasers and going through the book, but you're going to have to set your guideline. Every entrepreneur need a strategy. Every entrepreneur need a planner so it can keep you in your deadline. It can keep you in a frame of mind that you are managing something, you're accomplishing something in life. So finally, it says, A designer has a challenge on balancing their creative approach with their clients' desires. Many times it is hard for them to see the dynamic of what their client is telling them, the work methods that they have, or the vision that they have when they have their own vision about the project. Now, you got to make sure you please your clients. Come on, designers. You got to make sure that you please your client. Every client has their own vision of what they want to see. And when they don't have a vision, you can just start talking to them and start getting what they want. Everybody have a vision or have an ideal image in their mind, what they want to see, but they may not know how to express it or how to tell you what they want, but they have an idea of what they want to see. And a lot of times they will do it. I remember when I was doing the book, I was doing the Eagle Planner, I knew I wanted an eagle in flight. I didn't know what eagle I wanted in flight, but I knew that I wanted an eagle in flight. And I knew everybody kept saying, well, why are you doing stuff with an eagle? That's not feminine. Well, I don't want to have to be feminine and everything, but I feel like I'm showing to my next level. I am reaching the climax and things that God wants me to do. I've been around the hen heart too long, and I know that God has a better thing for me to do. And I know that God is lifting me up and doing some things for me, and God is showing me some things in my life. And so I know that it's time for me to move. It's time for me to soar with the eagles. And so that's why I read this book. And that's why, and then when I started fooling with people who have done something, people who have expressed themselves, and people who have made something happen, they did not stay in the yard with the chickens and having complaints and everything. They were soloing with the eagle. They took flight. And that's all I'm trying to say is take flight. Be close attention to what God has called you to do and make sure you work. It says the work approach of the designer person, the resourceful, they're creative. Come on. They know how to combine the excellence of what they're doing together and make something produce. So they recognize their shortcomings. They recognize their shortcomings. They understand where they are, but they're able to put both of those things, the resourcefulness and the creativeness together and produce an excellent project. So that's what you're looking for, to pull in those things and the skills and desires that God has on the inside of you and make sure that you're producing something great for God. We got to learn to put ourselves in a position that what God gives us, the gifts and the talent that God gives us, that we can approach it, that we can go forth and we can pull it out of us to do the things that we need to do in the earth today. I think this designer, uh, is a person that is multitask person, a very creative person, a inventive person, a person that's not just an artist, but a person who can come in, maybe an interior decorator or something like that, a person who are out there and love to do landscaping or and different things. So it says leadership skills. Oh my goodness, leadership skills. It says that this person is a person who rather not lead a team. This is the person who would rather just work in the background. And how many of you know are different people that not person that really want to be on the front line or like to be out there cheering people on. They rather be in the background cheering people on. They rather be in the background working and doing things silently, creatively, doing things, and that's me. I would rather work on the backside of something and see the finished work than to be out front doing everything. I'd rather bring a crowd along with me and celebrate them with their gifts and talents. And that's what we really do on the Biz Hub. Every week we bring different people with their skills and their talents and what they have mastered in the field that they have mastered. And we bring them on to help you guys to learn how to move to your next level, learn how to soar with the eagles, and learn how to get what God done put on the inside and deposit on the inside of you, pull it out of you. So you got to learn your E style. You got to learn who you are. You got to learn what type of business that God have put on the inside of you and where God is taking you. In a few minutes, we're going to talk about multi-level But they said here that many are independent workers. They are not team players. They're not people that would work with a team. They rather work independently by themselves, and not leading a person, not being even a manager or team leader. They rather work on by themselves, off by themselves, design by themselves, and then come back and give it to you, and then you celebrate what they've done. They're not eager to be up in front, working, doing things. They rather do it, but they rather do it behind the scene, and they rather do it by themselves. Come on, you need a team to get anything done. I feel like you do. I feel like I need a team to get anything done. Every time I get here and I get to a place, I'm trying to work too many things and I'm trying to do too many things. So I'm going to hire me a virtual assistant that can help me do the things that I need to do. I'm recognizing that it's so important for you to bring people along that have skills and talents that can help you to get to where you need to go to. We can't get to things in life by ourselves. God did not make us to be a lone ranger. He made us to be team players. He made us and created us because he needed a family. God, and I can't think of where it's at in the word of God, but God did is I know it's in Genesis, but I can't think of what chapter in Genesis that it's in. But God did not make it rain on the earth. He did not make anything to be produced on the earth until after he made man. He said the reason that he held off production is because he had no one to till the land. Oh my God. He didn't let it rain. And rain, rain bring growth, rain bring new life, and rain bring new and spring up new life. God did not allow it to rain on the earth until he had man that he had created to work the earth. So we got to learn that God made us to be team players. He made us to work. He made us to come together and be creative together. So you got to learn what God has put in you, God will bring out of you if you learn how to apply it. What God put in you, God will bring out of you when you learn how to apply what God is putting in you. So learn how to work with a team. Learn how to bring some people on your team to be able to implement what God has put down on the inside of you. Management skills, it says. When managing, the designer can be abrupt, direct in communicating with their staff. And sometimes people get offended when you are so abrupt, you're so direct, in your approach. It says they use a method of more active than their conversation. They use a method that they're more action. They rather show you, they rather activate it, they rather do it than to talk to you and communicate to you to show you how to do it. So, in other words, they're not trainers. They would not be easy in training you and showing you what to do because they don't know how to talk to you to implement it. And I know that is true with my son. My son was trying to teach me computer, and he said, "Mom, you just gonna have to pay somebody to do this because you can't get it." He said, "You can't get it. You can't learn." But he was so tech knowledge and telling me terms that I couldn't understand, but he wouldn't talk to me in layman terms that I could understand. So I never could catch it because he was talking to me in tech terms instead of talking to me in layman terms. And so sometimes you just have to be so simple. The simple it is, sometimes the more people can get it. And sometimes people can never be. My son is a designer. He don't know how to talk to you when it comes to showing you and helping you to be creative and to get something implemented. He rather take it and do it himself than to show you step by step. Take too long to show you step by step on how to do it. So we got to learn our E style, learn who we are, learn what DNA that God put on the inside of us. So then we won't be going around offending people, or we won't be going around not thinking that we're not successful. You're not successful because you don't know your E style. You're not successful because you're not going for the things that God has deposited on the inside of you. So you got to know that what your management skills is. Know your limitation, know your strength, and know your weakness. And when you learn your strength and stop lying to yourself, so many of us lie to ourselves on our strength and our weakness. I know the word of God tells us I can do all things through Christ. And you got to understand that that's not on your strength, that's on Christ's strength. So you can always be proud on the strength of him and be proven on his strength, but don't try to do it on your strength because you got to know your weakness. You got to know, I'm not afraid to say that I don't know something. I'm not afraid to ask for help. And you got to not to be afraid to ask for help or bring a skillful person on to help you thrive, help you meet your deadline, or help you do what you need to do. You can always look good and always look professional when you have somebody helping you, thriving you, and pushing you to your next level. So learn your E style, learn who you are, learn your weakness, right? And build on your strength. The areas of development, it says here that sadly, the number of designers are more invested in promoting their own vision and project over the wishes of their client. Now, that is something that you got to learn to develop. You got to learn to develop that your client, and you are working for your client is not working for you. That you got to learn to bring somebody in when it talks to the person, when it talks to seeing what their vision is, then you got to learn that listen at what their vision is so you can internal their vision so you can put what their vision is out on whether it's an artist piece, whether it's the design of a dress. I know our designer that's going to be coming on said he, not this week, but probably next week, we are going to be pushing in October that he's having a function here in Detroit. But we're also going to be pushing that we're going to the international fashion show in England and in Paris. So we want you guys to come along with us. We're going to be posting some different things and showing you how you can be a part of that and go with us to England and the fashion show is going to be at the Ritz Carlton in Paris. So you don't want to miss that. You want to be a part of what God is doing in somebody else. And if you're a designer and you're a fashion designer, you want to be a part of this trip. And if you are an inventor, you want to be a part of this trip. If you're an entrepreneur, you're female and you want to go, come on, bring your husband along, bring your boyfriend along, bring your fiance along, so you can go to England, that you can be in Paris, amen, the most romantic place in the world. You make it rain. Come on, invite them to come along. Or a second honeymoon for somebody. But depending on, it says here that depending on their approach and how they approach their clients, a lot of times the the e-design person don't take on the vision of their client. So you need to develop a habit of learning how to listen, to have a listening ear, or have somebody there with a listening ear, or have a recorder there so you can listen very clearly of what your client is saying, their ideas, what their function, what their colors are, what they like. I remember when I was working on my book, they kept asking me what was my favorite color. Well, I didn't want to do it in my favorite color. I wanted to do it in a neutral color. And I wanted to do it in a color that's an exciting color, but I didn't want to do it in red. I didn't want to do it in future. Future is my favorite color. And I didn't want to do it in future because I didn't want to look that it was all a girly thing. I didn't want to look like it was all manny. I just wanted to have a neutral feeling that we can have. And one of the things she did, and she said, in order for us to get your feeling, I need you to meditate. I just need you to close your eyes. I need you to meditate. I need you to think on things that are relaxing to you. And the things that was relaxing to me was cool water, was the air, was the sky, was just breathing freely, and flying high. And that's how we came up with the eagle. We came up with the eagle. We came up with the blue. We came up with the skies. We came up with the mountain climbing, excelling yourself to the next place that God wants you at. So when you're working with somebody, making sure that you're feeling what they're feeling and you're hearing the voice of what your client is saying to you. That's how you're going to be effective as an e-designer. And that's how you're going to be effective in what you're doing if you learn how to listen at your client. Learn how to let not your weakness be your defeatness, but let your weakness be something that you can thrive on and move to that next place that you need to move to. It says, besides being need to improve upon your ability to promote themselves and their business, they often allow their personal reserve to hinder their promotion of their business and profit. So sometimes you being reserved, being back, not being able to just promote what you do and promote their vision of what they have. Sometimes it puts you in a state that you're in a cycle and you're not able to move out of that cycle. So learn your weakness, learn what are the effectiveness that you can do to implement in your business as a designer, as an e-designer. Learn what you can do to perfect your weakness and move on. So one of the things that I found out that being in this having this form of design each style as a designer, it says one of the things here um, Walt Disney had. He was a person, creativity. He was a person who was very creative. Look at Disney World. It's still going on, and he's been dead for years, but it's still going on. It's still able to be creative. Mrs. Fields, it said, was one of those people who found David Fields, who founded the Fields Cookies. You know, Jim Henson. He was Jim Henson, the founder of the Muppet Company. He was very creative person. Paul Newman, he's the founder of the salad dressing. He's an actor, yeah, but he's very creative, very artistic, and very creative on the things that he do. Martha Stewart, who is the founder of Martha Stewart, everything is Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart got this food and everything. I looked up the other day. I think she got wine. She has different kinds of silverware and tables and dishes and different kind of food. And now she has her own frozen food line that she has. So those are the people that's walking in and those gifts, but they've learned how to excel, but they've learned how to be creative in their own sense and walk to those things that they need to walk to. So a fashion designer, our fashion designer, Seti is a designer. He's been designing ever since he was 8 years old. He's been walking in his ability and stuff. And it says that a designer business opportunity is these type of people that is in advertising, photograph, dog breather, person that is arts and crafts suppliers, auto shop, body work, a baker, a barber, someone that's in building and construction, someone who can install cable boxes, installed internet and things, custom bike makers, custom car makers, custom straight makers, custom build doll houses and stuff like that. Composers, people that compose music and different things. Community college instructors, a teacher, someone who deals in and those a dance instructor, event designer, exterminator service person, a fashion designer person, a fence construction company, a film designing company, flight stewardess. These are just some of the things. I mean, it's go on and on and on. Shoe repairs, sign person, upholstery person, a petting zoo operator, a personal assistant, packaging and shipping person, a nursery person, on and on, multimedia event producer. These are people who are designers, video editors, wallpaper hanger. I have a girlfriend who is a designer. We're going to have her on next month, but she designs her own wallpaper. She started out being just a professional painter, and she's painted some of the biggest places in Detroit, and she's painted some of the beautiful ceilings in gold and all kinds of different designs and 14 karat gold and stuff like this and things. Very expensive. She's very expensive, but she's a very demand here and all over the country on her design and her technique that she does with painting. And so I'm trying to get her to come and do some things for me. But she has her own line now on wallpaper that she's doing. So wedding, baking wedding cakes, a wine maker, having a vendor and something like that. Those are the things that those designer uh, skilled person that will have that you're going to see. So if you're that type of person, then you got to make sure that you learn what your weakness is and you learn what your strength is. So you'll be able to thrive in the time that you're living in and you'll be able to get your clients. It's all about you. Yeah. It's all about your business. Yeah. It's all about your marketing skills also, but it's also about learning your weakness, learning your strength, learning your weakness, but learn your client vision for what they hired you for. It's always not your vision, it's your client vision that will open up doors and that will open up opportunities for you to move and pivot to that next place that you need to move to. Now, today is Wednesday, and it is the fourth Wednesday, and we're supposed to be talking about multi-level. Now, many of you know that I started in multi-level. I'm a multi-level person. I believe that if you don't have a brick and mortar business, I do believe that everybody needs some type of business. And you don't need just any type of business. You need to be suited in what type of business that you're in. You need to know your lane. I was telling somebody today, is that the Lord told me years ago that you need streams of income. And if you look at most of the rich entrepreneurs are people who are very wealthy. They have had some type of background in multi-level. And I know when people hear multi-level, they scrunch up and they so fearful of it. And multi-level have had a bad rap. And there have been some bad companies out there. There have been some bad people out there. But I found that most of the time that you can sell in multi-level if you just have the right product. And multi-level always going to have a product. Come on now. It's a scam if they don't have a product. You need a product. I was talking to somebody about something the other day. I'm not going to say the name of the business, but I was saying, "Oh, did you get in it?" I said, "No," because from the get-go, I knew that it was a scam. I don't get in everything because it's presented to me or because it's brought to me. I get in some things because of friends and they need to just move to that next place and they need to place somebody there. And I'll get in there so they can have somebody to place there. And I tell them in the get-go, I'm not working the business. I'm not doing it. I just need a new write-off. So I'll do it for you for a little while to get a write-off. And I'll pay the little fee that I need to pay to get a write-off for the end of the year. Because a lot of times, most of you don't realize that when you have a home-based business, that you can take a 10 by 10 room in your house, a 10 by 10 space in your house and call it your business as long, and then you can take some off your lights, off your mortgage. Hey, you can take something off of your gas when you go. You can take something off, and you can take now you can take most of your meal off if you just mention your business to your client or mention your business to the waitress that come to your table. So you got to learn that you all need something to write off. My cousin used to call me all the time and say, "Girl, give me one of your kids so I can write off on my income tax." So all you don't need another kid or anything like that. You just need to open up you a multi-level business, but find the right one for you. Find the one that got a product that you can use. Find the one that you got products that you use all the time, whether it's soap, laundry detergent, toothpaste, whether it's makeup, whatever it is, whether it's a clothesline that you use, whatever it is, hair. My nephew made over $1 million in just selling years ago, just selling extensions online. He was one of the first guys that came out was selling hair online. And he did it as a multi-level company and he made millions of dollars and he made money for other people. So there is money to be made in it, but you just got to know how and what's your fit, what fits you and everything. Most people don't realize that Sprint came out as a multi-level company years ago. And now Sprint is gone, altogether. But years ago when Sprint came out as a multi-level company and they were going around to different places and setting up territory. So the only way that you could come into it was to buy a territory, or somebody in that territory signed you up to be a part of that area. But they was looking for people to be over territories, to work those territories and sign up people. And so when they started saying there's $10,000 for the territory, I was the only Black person in the room, and I was there with a Caucasian friend of mine, and we were sitting up there. And it was so funny because we were sitting up there and they was talking, and I leaned over to her and I said, "You got $10,000?" And she said, "No, but just be quiet. Let's just wait and see what they're saying." I said, "I'm gonna go. This is out of my league. I'm getting up. I'm gonna do the Pentecost uh hand raise and get up out of here." I did my Pentecost hand raise and I started walking to the door. The auditorium was filled with Caucasian people. And I started walking to the door. And he said, stopped it in the middle of his presentation. He said, "Ma'am, please don't walk out the door." And I'm walking out this door. I don't know, $10,000. He said, "Ma'am, please don't walk out the door." He said, "I'm representative of the company. And I was told if that any Black person showed up at this meeting today to give the territory to them." I said, "I'm Black." I turn around and I sit there and I listen through the whole presentation. And they gave me the territory of Alabama. And with my Caucasian friend, we took Alabama, we had Mississippi, and we had Florida. And we worked those and we made money, 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 money. But they didn't tell us that when the people started coming off, from transferring their long distance service over to us, when the people start coming off, then we got to pay the money back that they advanced us. And I'm telling you, when you got to pay somebody $75,000 back for advancement money, it makes you think about where you're at and what you're doing. And so I ended up paying them back because I had the money, because I was making the money to pay them back. But 10 years later, I got out. 10 years later, I was still receiving a check or override from the people that I had signed up to be a part of that program. So multi-level work, if you work it. I was talking to one of the guys who was Joe Dulac. Everybody came to Joe Dulac when Joe Dulac was the king of multi-level. And one of the things he trained me in, and he said, matter of fact, he married the Caucasian lady that I was there at that multi-level meeting with. One of the things he said is that always get in when it first come into town. Always get in when it's the newest thing on the run. He said, and run it for 6 months to a year, and run it thin and run it high and go to the top of the level that you can get and then get out. He said, because you'd have made enough money to get out if you run it well. He said, unless it's got a good product, unless you can stay in there, unless they're going to extend it and give you money, continuously give you funds, then you stay in it. Otherwise, run to the hills. So the thing is I learned that very much so. And most of the time, people will call me to get in a multi-level business. I will get in and do what he said. I will run it to the next level. But one thing I found out that multi-level people do is that when they move from one company to another company, they take their whole team with them and they show their whole team how to leverage that business and how to go to the next level. And if you're moving with people like that and you're moving in that frame mind of people, you will always have income coming in and you always have a good product. Some people settle, some people stay. I got a friend right now that settled with that company, and they've been with this company for a long, long time, and they're in millionaire status with this company. They will not move. You know, I've had people to come to kind of convince them to move, but they are planted. They're staying there. It is a good product. It's a product that we need, and it's a product that we use all the time. I'll tell anybody, I am in 4 different multi-level business. I don't work all of them the way that I should work them, but I'm very active in all of them. So I'm going to show you sometime the ones that I'm in and allow you to go and be a part of some of these great companies, because some of these companies are great companies. I like to go with the companies that are not fly by night company. I like to go with companies and some of the companies who have just been developed. I got in one of a friend of mine. She started her own multi-level company, and man, was it awesome. She started her own multi-level company, and she was making plenty money. But I'm gonna tell you, you always got to watch yourself. You always got to watch the person that you bring in, and you always got to watch the multi-level business and see if it's just a trendy thing or it's a thing that will outlast, everything else. So one of the things I found out in multi-level, some of the 5 things that I'm going to give you that I feel like you need to know um, in multi-level business on how to thrive and how to do it, the multi-level business. And the first thing they tell you is make a list. Make a list of all your friends, make a list of your coworkers, make a list of people that you know. And I found out that one thing that they told us in multi-level, he said, if you're a single person, 250 people. If you are a person that is married, now 500 people and in your inner circle. 500 people that you can just literally pick up the phone and call. And I said, oh, that ain't true. But it's so true. If you start listening the people that you know and the people that you're close to, the people that you can invite to come and hear a presentation, or people that you can call and say, can you get on this three-way with me? It's all about building your list. It's all about building the list of the people that you know that's in your inner circle, the people that you deal with, the people that you have influence over, the people that you know, the people that you have their phone number. But I found out that most of the people that are in multi-level, the most of the people, and that's the thing that they tell you, make your list. Make your list. Your list is your braille. Your list is your this. Your list is your Bible. They tell you that all the time. But your list is fine. Your list is fine. It's all right. You got to always, the first thing you got to remember, make your list. Second thing that you need to remember is keep continuously adding to your list. Don't stop adding to your list. Most people stop adding to the list. And what you need to realize is that you add to your list daily, because you're going to meet people. The thing is with multi-level that I think what most people miss with multi-level marketing is that you are marketing yourself first before you market the product. You're marketing yourself. People need to trust you, and you need to build relationship. It kind of reminds me of the first multi-level that we know of, and that's the Lord God Almighty. He was the first multi-level that I know of. He marketed himself. He gathered 12 people to be a part of what he was doing and what he believed. So he marketed himself with them. And then he called them to leave what they were doing and to come along, run alongside him and push what he was doing. And that was building relationship, marketing relationship with me, because I market my relationship with my God. So you got to learn how to market your relationship with your product, but also market your relationship with your God. God will extend your boundaries. He will bless you with people to come alongside you and work with you in your business. So you got to understand that you add to your list daily. Everybody you meet, whether it's at the drugstore, whether it's at the gas station, whether it's that you may not even think about it, that waitress that you sit there and that you come, you never think about, well, talking to her. I remember years ago, my deceased husband, we went to a meeting with the Happy Hunters. And one of the things the Happy Hunters used to say is that, everybody is a candidate for salvation. And it's the same way. Everybody is a candidate for your business, because if you're using something that you love and you like, you can present it to anybody. But first, you got to build relationship. So she would always ask, and my husband started doing it. My late husband always started doing that. It says, what is 3 people in the world? And I need to know, what kind are you? And you got their attention. And those who are saved, those who are not, and those who are want to be. Which one of those are you? And usually they'll say those who want to be. And that's when he hum in. And so Then we started working on YTV, and he said, you know, there's three type of people in the world: those who want to travel, those who don't, and those who love it, travel all the time. Which one are you? And they said, "Ooh, I would love to travel. I would love to learn how to travel. I would love to go to luxury places." He said, "Well, here's my card. Give me your name." You always have a list to write somebody's name down, and then he give him his card to write his name. He said, "You just met the most important person in your life. That's me." Wow. When you can introduce somebody to the most important person that's going to be in their life, that's to teach them, help them to sail to that next level that they, whether it be with Christ or whether it be with a product. And most of the time, he get them with Christ and then he get them with a product. We were the top sellers in YTB. So remember, build your list. Network marketing is about building your list. Network marketing is about building relationships. All you're doing is building relationships, relationship with your product and relationship with your clients, building those, your prospects. I mean, relationship with your prospect, everybody that you meet. Now, I'm not talking about being those type of people that hunts on everything or push or nag people to do your product. I found out that you don't have to nag anybody to do anything that they want to do already. You don't have to push them, when I was in my TV, they said, present it to them, show them, and leave them alone. Present it to them, show them, and leave them alone. Come back. Everybody mind change every 30 days. Check in them every 30 days because their circumstances change every 30 days. Come on, you learned that from the pandemic. Every time you turn around, something is changing. Number three is raise your awareness. Raise your bar of your awareness. Raise who you are. Let people know who you are. Let people know what you're doing. Raise your bar of awareness. Let people know who you are, what you're doing. You can't win souls by being silenced. You can only win souls by telling your testimony, and you can only help them be disciples for the kingdom of God if you live the lifestyle in front of them and show them how to live saved. The only way that you're going to get people to use your products is you using your product, showing them how to use their product. Sometimes you just may have to give them product in order for them to use the product, like the product, and get the product and want the product more. I found that out with a lot of things that I was selling. I used to do the Wonder Cookie. I used to do Stanley. I used to do Amway. I've done so many. But I'm telling you, when I gave them that Wonder Cookie, and that Wonder Cookie was a Wonder Cookie, it would make you lose weight. It was a chocolate chip cookie. You put it in the oven for a few minutes, you heat it up, and you eat that cookie with some milk. I'm telling you, your waistline got very, very thin. It was a good cookie. Sometimes I would eat too many of them because it was just so good. But I would give those cookies away, and people will call me back. You got more of those cookies? How much those cookies cost? Bring me a case of those cookies. So the thing is that put your awareness of your products out there so people be aware of what you're doing. I was listening to a guy who was saying that he was he had friends that was in the ministry. His brother-in-law was in the ministry and some cousin was in the ministry, but he never talked to them about his multi-level business. He never went to them about his business. He never talked to them about it because he figured that they was, you're judging them. They all right. They ain't gonna never do it and stuff. And that's the next thing is never judge anybody. Never judge them and say, oh, they ain't gonna do the business. Oh, they too busy. Oh, they can't do it. I would never present this to them, or I would never show this to them because they wouldn't do it, and stuff. And don't judge a person because you don't know what a person would do or would not do. He said he did not talk to them about it. So one day he heard them, they overheard a conversation that he was telling to somebody else, and they realized that they wanted an extra income. They needed some extra income coming in. And so they wanted to hear about the product. They got in the product and they ran with it. We got to learn to run with what God give you. Don't sit there, on the porch and wish you could do something. Get up off the porch and start running with what God give you. If God give you a multi-level company, a person to work with you, if you are the downline on somebody, you're the leader of somebody, help them get their prospect. Help them. When you learn to help them, you learn to give them people, you learn to train them and get them to the place. Most of the time, I find people say that it don't work is when they never had a good leader. They never had anybody to train them and what to do. All multi-level work if you learn how to work it. I'm here to just tell you, is to just find you a multi-level business. That's why every fourth Wednesday, we're going to present multi-level businesses to you to be a part of the multi-level business. And one of the places that I want you to do is you can go into this link. It's called networkmarketingpros.com/, memory jogger. And those will help you jog your memory, jog the things that you need that you can help pull you to that next place if you're in a multi-level. I always tell people if you're in a multi-level business and you got somebody who's your leader is not pushing you, not helping you, and not training you, go on YouTube. Find your way. If you like the product, find your way how to push it. Stay in the meeting. Stay on those three-way calls with somebody. Stay on training and learn yourself. And because when you start bringing people in, you want to be an excellent leader. You want to be a great person that will help them thrive to the next level. It's always how to build your line across and then build down. Build your line across with strong people and then build your line down. That means help them build what they're doing. The only way that you can make it in multi-level is you learn how to build strong relationships. That's all that you're doing is building strong relationship. I want to challenge each and every one of you to come back if you're interested in multi-level business, to come back next Wednesday, the next fourth Wednesday, because we're going to have some people here. We're going to have a business here that I'm in and that I feel like you guys would love to be in and love to be a part of it. I like businesses that you can sign up for free. You're not asking people to spend no $200 and $300 and $400 to join it and get a website. But there is a business that you can get in for free. You can do it, and it's something that we all need. I'd rather get in a business that is something that we all need, something that we all use, and it's something that can help the environment and help us. Don't ever get in something that is a quick get rich scheme. You don't want to get in those type of multi-level company. You want to get in something that grows you slowly, but also pay you and help you thrive to that next level. Well, I have enjoyed being a part and just being on here by myself today. But I have enjoyed it. I thank God for the ones that were supposed to get in, but because they're in an area that's a storm area, they were not able to be on today. But we're going to bring them back again. And we're going to talk about, a lot of us want to know about crypto coin. A lot of us want to know about the different coin system that's going on out there. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring two on. And I'm going to let them present themselves to you and everything. And then it's up to you to take the challenge. It's up to you to take that part. But let's always remember, let's get ready for to do our master ego planning system so we can be a part of that. It's not going to be, we're going to do a live streaming on Facebook for 5-day challenge to get your book and get you started. So when we get ready to do our book in January, we're going to kickstart the new year off kicking behind. So I'm telling you, I'm going to say, oh my gosh, Pastor King, kicking behind, doing something, making something happen, producing something awesome in 2022. You're going to finish this year strong so you can start out next year stronger. I appreciate you guys for stopping in and being a part of the midday week with the masters. I'm Diane Washington. I am the senior pastor of the Trinity Deliverance Church, the New Biz Hub, and I'm sorry, not the New Biz Hub, the New Vision Center, and a part of the Biz Hub. Wanted to thank you guys for being a part. Come back next week. Love you guys, and thank you so much.